Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This podcast is a conversation between two business partners, Joanne Kandrac and Kelly Kole. Join us for a lively conversation about all things interior design, from current projects, trade show experiences, worldwide travel, what's in, what's out, and all the challenges and wins they've had running their successful design business. Whether you're a seasoned interior designer, new to the industry, or a creative enthusiast, you will walk away with insightful information, newfound inspiration, and a smile on your face after listening to these two. And here they are, Joanne and Kelly.
Hey everybody, welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This is episode 161, and the topic today is how to have a healthy home. So in today's world, it's becoming increasingly important to choose a home that is not only comfortable and aesthetically pleasing, but also one that can enhance our health.
Yep.
Fortunately, with the help of a growing body of research and the emergence of new technologies, it's now possible to design homes that are not only beneficial to our physical health, but also to our mental well-being. So Kelly and I attended, it was a virtual summit called The Future of Eco-Conscious Living. It was put on by House Beautiful, and it took place in April on Earth Day.
Yep.
And so there was a talented lineup of experts who spoke about hospitality, urban development, smart homes, and outdoor spaces. It was very enlightening. We learned a lot, and so interesting that we wanted to share it with you.
Yeah. But before we jump in, we're going to let you know that we have a new sponsor for the podcast, and it's America's Smart. The Atlanta market, the premier gift, decor, and lifestyle market right here in Atlanta. America's Smart is the to-the-trade only marketplace to discover new resources and to connect with thousands of makers, manufacturers, and sales reps to make your business better. The big shows are held in January and July, and they're always on our calendar for sure. Each show we visit with like-minded business owners and creatives, and it's just our time to get inspired by fabrics, furniture, colors, and design-forward product displays literally on every showroom floor. So the next show is July 11th through the 17th. So we highly recommend you register. Visit atlantamarket.com. The show's a bit overwhelming, so just, make sure you visit a couple of our favorites. The floor of temporaries, the coveted antiques category is amazing. And also they've got 5 brand new floors of casual and outdoor furnishings, which is debuting this July show. So
yeah,
we will see you there.
Outdoor furnishings are a very hot product category right now. People are really enjoying outdoor living.
Yep.
So we'll be there in July. So come look for us.
All right, let's talk about this because when we first started listening to this summit, I was so overwhelmed. I'm thinking, we don't do a good enough job. I have so much to learn, but
yeah, it's true. But I think awareness is one of the biggest things because there's a lot of people talking about, there's a lot of people that are not talking about it. So we just want to kind of throw it out there. We know we need to be better, but it was interesting because when it first started, the first people that came up were the Scott brothers, the property brothers.
Yeah.
So they
were like,
yeah,
they care about all this stuff.
But this is so interesting because how this started for them is they had started a project.
Okay.
That really pissed them off. They said they were renovating their family home in Las Vegas. This is now about 10 years ago. Okay. And they wanted to use solar power. No big deal, right? They did all the work.
Yeah.
And they were ready to go. And then the utility would not give them the permission to flip the switch. So the
utility company,
the Public Utilities Commission changed the legislation and killed solar power in Nevada. So this led to an award-winning PBS documentary that they did called Jonathan Scott's Power Trip. So 3 years later, they transformed themselves into full-fledged eco warriors. So as 2 of HGTV's biggest stars and have created product lines, they have a production company, they have a podcast, 2 books, magazines, and more. They believe in using their voices to influence millions of people and to push their true passion for sustainability. And one of their biggest pushes which is in our wheelhouse, is induction cooking. So Jonathan says not only is the cooktop not hot to touch, but there's also no benzene coming off, which is a chemical. You can boil pot of water 2 to 3 times faster, and you don't have the cost of running gas lines. I know induction cooking was a big conversation at KBIS.
Oh, of course. Yes. And remember when we went to Napa with Signature Kitchen Suites and Design Hounds, we learned all about induction cooking way back then. And we were just in a client's kitchen, but 3 weeks ago. And the kitchen really doesn't need much, but it's got a really weird like pop-up vent that comes up in the back, and they didn't like it, and they wanted a fancy, gas wolf or something with, all with the big grates up top. And we were talking to them about induction cooking and the flat top, and they were like, I don't, they just we're like, wait, let's keep talking about it. So listen, the whole top, you can touch it. So you can go ahead and be cooking on a part of it and serving pancakes warming on the rest of it. And, and it's easy to clean and it's pretty. And so just, so
that's what I mean. Like just being aware of stuff. If no one ever told you about it, you would never know about it.
Right.
So it's of course, this is the other thing. Some of these things are a little more expensive, but it's the longevity. And we're going to talk a little bit about Ashton Kutcher, who has his thoughts on that too.
Well, it was so interesting being up close and personal with him. I
feel like we were on this Zoom with him.
Yeah. He was just sitting like in his home at his desk, like straight up. And he's so adorable, and he's so smart, and he's so dedicated to eco consciousness and sustainability and the whole gamut of it all. And so he was talking with his business partner for Hotel One, and I can't remember the guy's name. They were both so interesting.
Barry.
Is it in here somewhere?
Barry.
We'll get to it. But he was talking a lot about hospitality, the industry, and that it is one of the largest contributors to waste. And so they were throwing out a lot of statistics that were like kind of freaking me out.
But before that, though, Ashton said that the concept of sustainability can be reframed as enduring happiness. And he's saying if the idea doesn't have the capacity to endure time, all this throwaway stuff, it's not sustainable. And we won't ever have the opportunity to experience the happiness that it brings. So you think about an antique or something that's been so well made. And goes through generations. And just how that has not just been thrown in a landfill somewhere. So then Barry, he left Starwood Hotels, and he wanted to create a brand new brand of hotels, and it's called Hotel One. And so he wanted to see and show that they could live luxurious and sustainable at the same time. And then this is some of the things that are part of his hotel that you're going to list.
So Hotel One is LEED certified, and you may have seen some designers have the capital LEED behind their name. They are certified they're LEED certified, which means leadership in energy and environmental design. And there's lots of prerequisites and credits that projects get when they're LEED certified in regards to carbon emissions and waste and how they're built and the products that are used and so forth. So that in and of itself is a really big deal. If you ever are frequenting a hotel, or for example, my husband works for Apple, and in the entire Apple campus in Cupertino is LEED certified. So, just keep your eye out for that kind of construction.
You might see it more now that we're talking about it. Yeah.
But Hotel One is committed to a lot of things. For example, donating more than $500,000 to various charitable partners, and they have all their certified energy efficient kitchen equipment in their restaurant, like all these little things, natural fuel cooking and on-site composting and organic gardens. That you see this a lot at restaurants now. Restaurants have their own organic gardens, and it's true, their own baby farm to table as they prepare food for you. So it was just fascinating. And I started to think about, like, I was just at this beautiful resort in South Carolina, and they have these plastic drink cups that are all over the property at the golf course and in the spa and so forth that has their logo on it. And I don't know if they pick them out of the trash and recycle them, but literally you just use them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tend to like bring them home because I feel guilty and I like them, but I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And then when you go into the restrooms, the napkin, what you dry your hands on are these thick, beautiful paper napkins that you literally throw in the trash after you use them. And I'm thinking, I mean, that was a very luxury experience, but wow, you know, does that compost well? And how expensive are those?
I guess, you don't think about the hospitality industry, but they said that, they are the largest waste. 1% of all global carbon emissions come from that industry.
Wow.
And 18% of all their food goes to waste. That's really sad. So these stats are unbelievable. In 1 year, one hotel chain uses 20 million single-use plastic bottles and cups. And
20 million, one hotel in 1 year. Oh, one hotel chain.
Yes. Every day in the U.S., we flush a Central Park worth of trees down the toilet. So I thought this was really interesting because when Barry and Ashton were talking about the toilet paper, it was like a really big deal. So I thought this was really interesting. So 42 million tons of toilet paper used globally annually has one of the largest significant environmental impacts. So, for example, a company called Cloud Paper came out with this. It's made out of bamboo, which grows 3 feet per day. If more people buy it, there will be the less price. So that would protect 52 acres, 27,000 trees annually, reducing CO2 by 640,000 pounds. Now, they're not saying how soft it is.
But this is why we have to keep talking about it, because after I heard this, I went into the kitchen and I said to my husband, we've got to order this Cloud toilet paper. Okay. It comes in a big, huge case. It arrives at your door. And then I forgot. I was all excited about it. And then I forgot to do it. So, we got to keep talking about it, keep reminding ourselves of what contributions that we can make. And, I just think about here in this office, we're still not paperless. We're getting better, but we're definitely not paperless. Like when my husband Mike goes to conferences and so forth at Apple, they don't have any paper. Everybody has an iPad in front of them and there's no paper, and they all have reusable water bottles. They don't get, there's no water being poured
cups
into glasses during the conferences, nothing. They all have their own water bottles and just things like that some companies really embrace, and some hotels like Hotel One are really embracing, and then others are not. And, it's funny when we travel, a lot of times the hotel will say, help us conserve water. Do not, if you don't want your towels redone, please hang them back up and so I always hang my towels back up to dry. And inevitably I've got new towels when I come back in. Like they just did it anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. But
one other thing that Hotel One said, and I'm not quite sure, I have to read more into it. They have zero waste cocktails, dinners, and events. Wonder what a zero waste cocktail is, meaning
maybe they compost all the waste that they have, or they give I know there's FDA laws for what food can be, whatever, but maybe they have a program
to pass on the cocktails.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't want to encourage alcoholism, but here you go. Drink this.
We'll have to see. Have to see. But one of the more impressive ones, and this was a little more closer to home for us, was Williams-Sonoma.
Yeah. They were one of the speakers.
I was really, really interested to hear what, don't remember her name either. I did a bad job on the outline.
No, you didn't. It was just a lot of information coming at us, and we were sitting watching this thing for like 2 hours, I think it was. But anyway, when you think about companies and who you're buying from, right, and how they're contributing to the global impact of all of our production and waste, I was really impressed with Williams-Sonoma. So in 2021, for example, Pottery Barn committed to planting 3 million trees in the following 2 years. So by this year, 2023. And the the Arbor Day Foundation, which is the Arbor Day Foundation. It's one that Williams-Sonoma supports.
Yes.
Every indoor piece of furniture sold would plant one tree. They exceeded the goal, and all the other brands came on board and added 6 million.
Yeah.
So
under the Williams-Sonoma umbrella, I think there's 8 brands.
Pottery Barn,
Kids, Pottery Barn Teen,
Crate and Barrel.
No, Crate and Barrel. Nope.
West Elm.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the other ones.
Yeah.
But they said that they had such great customer response from that,
yes.
and that they feel like that a lot of their customers want to purchase from someone who is giving back and who knows that a company cares.
Yes. Yeah. I think we have had new clients reach out to us simply because they went on our website and they clicked on our services and saw all the charities that we support and all the work that we do in Guatemala, and just felt that was such an important thing in their lives that they wanted to partner with us, and they chose us because of that. And that's not why we do it, obviously, but people really do care. And I think it's sometimes overwhelming in our busy lives to figure out how to help. So if you can find somebody that's already doing it, and then you just support them.
Well, it's just
in some way, buy their products, support them in some way. Then you're adding.
It's just like our last podcast that we talked about being in Guatemala, and being able to help. Well, if that's not something that you're comfortable doing, but you do want to somehow give back, here's a great way. Well, I'll buy product from them because I know part of that money is going to go towards something that's meaningful.
Yes.
So I think that's really important. I know that. I can't remember, but years ago we visited a granite showroom or something, and on their door it said St. Jude's, and that part of their proceeds goes to St. Jude's. And I think that's amazing.
It just makes you want to,
because you never know who in your life might need that place.
Yeah. And
it's such an amazing charity, and they do so much for so many people. So yeah, I think it's nice to see that, these are big companies too that have, more reach. And I know we feel like we're just this small person, like what can we really do? But every little bit
helps.
Really does help.
I pay a lot of attention to fair trade and, products that are made by artisans in Indonesia, in Guatemala, in Africa, and where they are, your purchase is sustaining a village, is sustaining a family, is sustaining these women who are, and men who are creating these things.
And that's like, that's kind of Etsy, and, you don't have to buy everything on Wayfair. Like, Etsy has some,
we buy a ton
what we
of
call makers, that people that are just creating a living for themselves by making something that's just, really kind of special. So there's like, as designers and as homeowners, there are some things that we can do that shouldn't be too hard to do. Like, for example, like with heating and lighting, we talk about this a lot with our clients who have, either major sun coming into their room, or it's really cold during the winter, is just getting, like Hunter Douglas blinds, shades, drapery, that kind of helps.
High quality insulation.
That's just a great way. And
simple.
That's beautiful. You're
going to do it anyway.
Beautiful and sustainable.
Right.
So there you go.
Yep.
And then, lighting, using the right bulbs and just, paying attention to, that kind of stuff in your home.
Little things. So I think also we try with a lot of our designs to work with organic materials, and we have. It's funny. I'm sitting here like thinking of all the people that have been on the show. Like when we were talking to Jason Phillips of Phillips Collection, and how he and his dad and their family, they go to Indonesia, particularly Bali, I think, or Thailand, and they excavate trees that have fallen and big, huge trunks, and they excavate them, and they help the farmers in areas because these are really in their way, and they excavate them with this big old fire truck with hydro power that they have there, and they they bring them home and they make them into beautiful furniture.
Oh my God, the
Right?
tables are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Or even I think of when we had Rosh on from Jaipur,
Yes.
the Jaipur Foundation, Jaipur Rugs. And he was talking all about how they are committed deep in their company to create better lives for particularly the women in India who are creating their rugs through education and healthcare and helping even the children, getting everybody to school. And it's amazing.
Now just popped into Aloka Home.
Yes.
Amy Flory was just on our website, and she takes those old saris that they make into coverlets and pillows and whatever that are just old. These are being reused.
Yes.
And I think
they become heirloom pieces. When you think about, what's in your home right now that you're going to hand down. Think about it. What purchase have you made lately that you're going to hand down to your kids and your grandkids? It's sad to think that like my kids' generation doesn't have any of that kind of stuff unless I gave it to them, passed down from my parents and my grandparents. So it's something that we just really need to be talking about.
Yeah. And the thing is, if it's high quality and you pay a little more for it, you're not replacing it.
Yeah.
It's going to live on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really important. Like we talk about wool, natural stone, like these are ways to incorporate these things into your home so that it's just not all wasteful. Like when you think
because the longer they last and the longer you love them and the longer they stay in your home, they are not in a landfill.
And they're special.
And that inherently is called sustainability. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what else did we talk about when we were listening to this?
Well, learning to breathe easier. That's kind of some of the other things too that
we had a big lesson in that during the pandemic.
Yes, you can invest in like higher grade filters. Have your duct work cleaned, like all of that. Once they, once you get the right product, clean it and change the filters regularly. These are things that just maintaining what you have to keep it so that it lasts.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
it's such a big thing. And I just feel like we said, there's just lots of little things that we can do. And, it can start with simply using your water bottle.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yep.
Don't use plastic water bottles. Don't go to Costco in your grocery store and buy the huge case of Dasani and Smart Water and put it in your home and throw those bottles out every 30 minutes. Yeah. Just don't do it.
Yeah. And there's just certain things that, they're somewhat annoying, or like, I really don't like drinking out of a paper straw.
I know.
I really don't. But you can buy those metal ones and they have like little cases for them.
Yep.
So it's funny. So both my daughters live in Charleston. One's on James Island, one's in Somerville. The one on James Island is closer to the water. They have no plastic bags there. Yes. When you go to the grocery store, it's a brown paper bag.
Yes, and which I like so much better.
And just even in the same state, 40 minutes away, they're using plastic.
Yeah, but I use all of my reuse all my Trader Joe's and Whole Foods bags instead of, because literally if I forget, and like, for example, my Kroger, you can ask for paper. Most of the time they have it, but sometimes, if I'm in a rush, they throw them in the plastic bags. And then inevitably, I have one of those things in my garage where I keep them, but it's full. So I throw them in my recycling. But I just mad that I even got them, like.
Well, and the Trader Joe, they're just sturdier. They're better.
Yeah.
Just so many little things like that. And I think, I know the West Coast does a much better job.
Oh, for sure.
Now
that Riley lives in San Diego, it's I'm seeing the big difference of how they're living compared to us and even Emory in Chicago. But yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, but we want to thank House Beautiful and all the contributors, William Sonoma and Ashton Kutcher and the Property Brothers and Hotel One, for that. That was just a really great, really great virtual summit. And it was something that, for all the design conferences and summits and stuff that we go to, it was very unique. Not everybody's talking about it.
It was enlightening for me, really. I mean, when they talked about or gave some of these stats, I was like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's not a lot of people talking about it. You kind of have to go look for
Well,
it.
and we could do so much better. You
Our
know, we're not
design
LEED certified. It's a big deal.
Our design industry too. I mean, when you think about, you know, some of the wood products and the stains we're using. I mean, I know our painters, you know, are using the low VOC or no VOC paints, but you know, when you're getting hardwood floors put in and they're staining, all those chemicals. I mean, it's not good.
A lot to always be mindful of and pay attention to as it's affecting our climate for sure.
Yep.
So, all right. So that was a good one. Quotes.
Okay.
Okay. This is totally me. I'll read the funny one.
Yeah.
My biggest obstacle is that I only like salads when they are made by other people and cost $16. And that's from our friends at Stash Birmingham. It is so 100% true.
Well,
why is that?
Everything tastes better when somebody else makes it.
It's true. But you know what? The dressings are better. I think it's all about the dressing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah. But, you know, we read a lot of quotes from Stash, and they're located in Birmingham. Their Instagram handle is stash_bham. I'm telling you what, they're brilliant. And because of their quotes are so funny, I have been paying so much more attention to
their Instagram
and what they're all about. And I'm telling you what, if I ever get to Birmingham, Stash, I'm coming because your place is cool.
And I love it because they show an image.
It's all antiques and
then
like
they have a quote.
Thrifty finds and stuff.
It's a great way to have people be looking at them. I always loved quotes. And we decided when we were doing this podcast that it would always end with quotes. And but it's been 5 years and sometimes it's hard to find them or there's ones you've already heard.
Yeah.
So I sometimes spend a lot of time trying to look for those great quotes, but then there's some of those classic ones that just need to be reminded. So, so the serious quote, I mean, of course, if you want to feel rich, just count all the things that you have that money can't buy. And we are very blessed.
Like
in
your
our
brand
lives,
new grandbaby.
Like my brand new grandbaby, who is 5 days old or 6 days old now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just the best thing in the whole world. So we are very blessed. And thanks again to Atlanta Market for sponsoring this episode. We hope to see you at the July show.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Join Joanne and Kelly for a new episode every other Friday as they continue to explore the nuances of the interior design business with the goal of informing, inspiring, and entertaining their listeners. See their work at Kandrac-Kole.com and engage with them on Facebook and Instagram at Kandrac Kole.